going on, everybody? Been a while since we put out a video, but things have been a little bit busy, but we're still staying steady at it. Today we're going to be catching a few queens, checking in on a small mating yard here. We've got, I think, close to probably 50 or so double mating nukes. So this yard's got about 100 mating nukes in it, and it's pretty much like the setup you see here. We got different colors and different orientations to help with queens recognizing their boxes. But we're going to start down there on the end and see what we can get into. This group here is, again, one of our most popular bees that we work with is our Pol-line 2.2. So this whole round here, this yard is off of one of our 2.2 breeders. These queens are showing up to be a little bit dark, actually getting some of them that are almost black, but these bees look really good. So we're going to get into some and we'll check back in. All right, so we're going to take a peek in. See what we got going. We peeked in on these a couple of days ago, and the queens were starting to look good. So we're going to poke in now and make sure they're doing what they need to be doing, and catch them and mark them and see what happens. Oh yeah, and there she is. Nice dark mated queen right there. See if she can work across here. We'll grab her. And we got eggs and larvae all in there, so she's a nice mated queen. So what we do is we take them and we grab them. It's like this. Unfortunately, all I have is a Posca pin. There's been mixed reviews on these pins. Sometimes they work good, sometimes they don't. Most of the time, these pins work pretty good for us. You know, we still have them where their markings are lasting, you know, over a year or so. But if you see her there with a mark on her, and we use JZBZ most of the time. We had some extra wooden 3-hole wooden cages, so we use them sometimes. Some customers love the 3-hole, some people hate them. I really enjoy the JZBZ. They make it easy, but that's what we use. We'll throw in 3 attendants, 3 to 4, 3 to 5, depends on when they're being pulled and how long they're being pulled for, and where they're going. You know, we ship them nationwide, and if we know they're going to California or something, then we'll throw some extra attendants in, but that's pretty much the basis of it. And then we'll come back. These colonies will sit queenless for about 24 hours, and then we'll come back tomorrow and we'll put queen cells in them. And then the round starts all over again. There's some cat brood. And again, nice dark queen. So these, like I said, these queens are showing up pretty dark. I guess that's just some of the phenotypic expressions that are coming out. With our mating nukes, we try to do these mini mating nukes. Sometimes, you know, the average is somewhere, most people run a 14-day schedule. We try to run a little bit longer than that. These mini mating nukes, you have to be careful because they can swarm out on you. So you have to kind of watch them. If the population's not too bad in them, you know, like when we're stocking them early or something, we'll run them, you know, past 21 days. But most of the time, with these here, our schedule, we're running about a 18 day schedule. Seems kind of weird, and it's a little bit different than what you see at the standard. You know, we're running stuff in the middle of the week, but it gives bees long enough to you know, lay. And oftentimes, like this last round we had capped brood within, you know, almost 8 days of hatching. So they look really good. So that was because we just had perfect weather for mating flights. So sometimes, just like the first two, you find them on the first frame, and then sometimes it takes time to hunt them, and not everyone is successful. And these mini mating nukes here, these are the double-sided, so they're a little bit bigger than the singles, the little real small mini mating nukes. And I really enjoy these. They make it small enough to where they're you know, nimble enough, and they don't take up a ton of resources, but yet they still give you plenty of laying room for that queen to show her full potential. That one was queenless, so it's not 100%. So every time we graft, you know, you always have to account for that. On average, our track record, we're the 80%. Sometimes it's really low. You know, sometimes we're down in the 60s or even lower in the 50% range. But for the most part, you know, 75% is a pretty good range. I believe these are queenless as well. But not to worry, we've got queen cells, like I said, that'll be hatching in just a few days, and they'll go right in these, so we'll avoid any laying worker issues. But that's the gist of it. We're going to get to it and see what we find. So, and this queen here, she's small, so she is not going to make the cut. No, it sounds crazy, but when they're that small, they either something happened. We know our queen cells look good, so she must have not got well mated. So she will not make the cut, unfortunately. These nukes here look great. These are about the perfect size. What I mean by that is the number of bees. You want enough bees in there to feed that queen well, but you don't want them so overpacked that it makes it near impossible to find the queen, and then the potential for them to swarm out on you and all that. But these look great. I think we've got eggs and larvae, and there's our queen. Again, hopefully that showing up in the frame. That's her. We'll grab her and mark her and take her home. These queens right now are really starting to look good. Not that they don't look good earlier than this, but as we get on, you know, here in the central part of North Carolina, as we get on closer to, you know, middle of May and into June, we still have tons of resources, and you know, the bees are able to grow out nicely, and we have plenty of drones. And the bees here for us in middle of May through 4th of July are just phenomenal. They look great. Got eggs and larvae, so we got another mated queen here. There she is. Marking queens, although it seems like it doesn't take a lot of time, actually, you know, when you're catching hundreds of queens, it slows you down quite considerably. You know, and that's why most of the industry charges more for marking, just because of the amount of time that it takes to go through and mark them. So it's a service that, if you ask for, is well worth, just because of the time that it takes. But just like that, got a handful of queens. So we're gonna keep going. We've got these mate nukes here all the way down, and there's another group on the other side of the truck though. So got a good bit more to go. We'll check back in. Take care. So I was referencing earlier about these mini mating nukes getting packed out, and you can see this is often what happens. You know, when you're running cycles of these cells, typically, you know, you get a really high peak of production when that queen's really laying, and then it kind of wanes off for a little bit, just because of the natural cycle of not having a laying queen 100% of the time. But still, when that population gets good and you got good queens in there, it's evident. They will come through that queen excluder and build honeycomb. This box on this last round actually used to supplement other mating nukes, so we kind of move frames around, take from the strong and give to the weak, just to balance things out. And you can see they're still packed out. Take care. So just to show you, this is pretty much the color we typically are getting with our Pol-lines. Get a nice little bit of a tiger stripe to them. Beautiful queens. I'm just checking on these, so I'm gonna actually let her go back into the box. Down she goes.